You stopped answering. Not out of anger. You just noticed the quiet was easier than a room. And somewhere in there, you started calling it preference. But choosing to be alone is rarely a personality. It's a price you finally refused to keep paying. This is what that price actually was, and what it quietly bought. Let's start with the part nobody admits. Being alone can be genuinely good. The apartment is quiet. Nobody needs a version of you today. You eat what you want. You think a whole thought without someone finishing it. Solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is a lack. Solitude, so if it's that good, why does it so often start right after something breaks? Because the choice almost never arrives first. It arrives second. Go back. There was a version of you that showed up. Answered the phone at midnight. Drove a distance. Explained yourself twice. And it cost. Not money. Attention, energy, the small daily work of being available. For a while, that cost felt normal. It's what people do. Then something shifted. You gave, and the giving stopped coming back. Not with cruelty, just with silence. With people who took the ride and never asked how yours was. Your nervous system is very good at math. It doesn't care about intentions. It tracks return. And when the effort you put into people stops returning, your body files connection under expensive. That's the whole mechanism. Not trauma. Not superiority. Accounting. Once something is filed as expensive, you don't decide to avoid it. You just start finding reasons not to. The plan you don't confirm. The message you'll answer later. The invitation that arrives and quietly expires. You don't feel like you're hiding. You feel like you're finally resting. And here is where it gets slippery, because at first, it works. The exhaustion drops. The chest loosens. You sleep. You look around at a life with fewer people in it, and you think, this is what I needed. And some of that is true. Some of it is a wound with the lights off. So how do you tell them apart? Hold on, because first, the part that decides which one it becomes. Repetition. Every week you don't reach out, the not reaching gets easier. That's not weakness. That's how a nervous system learns anything. What you practice, you get good at. And you have been practicing being alone. The muscle you don't use doesn't just weaken. It starts to feel foreign. The call you'd have made in a second 3 years ago now takes rehearsal. You draft the message. You read it back. You decide it can wait. And now something has changed that nobody announces to you. Alone stopped being the thing you chose. It became the only thing that still feels natural. That's the line. Not solitude. Automation. Because a choice you can't reverse isn't really a choice anymore. It's a setting. Now watch what it does to the story you tell about yourself. You start explaining it. I'm just low maintenance. I'm better on my own. People are a lot. And every explanation is a little true. That's what makes it stick. But listen to what those sentences protect you from. Not people. Disappointment. If you never expect anyone, nobody can arrive late. If you never ask, nobody can say no. Solitude used this way isn't peace. It's a very quiet insurance policy. And insurance always has a premium. You just pay this one in a currency you don't count. Here's what that currency is: the days nobody knows about. Something good happens, and you notice you have no one to tell. Not because they left, because you stopped updating anyone. Something hard happens, and you handle alone. And you handle it well. And there's a strange flatness where relief should be. That's the bill arriving. Not loneliness exactly. More like being unwitnessed. And unwitnessed is a thing humans register in the body. Long-running research on social connection finds that people with weaker social ties tend to have worse long-term health outcomes than people with stronger ones. Read that carefully, because it's not a scare tactic, and it doesn't mean you need a crowd. It means connection isn't a luxury item your body politely enjoys. It's closer to maintenance. And a system that files maintenance under optional will run a long time, and then stop suddenly. So we're back at the real question. Is this a home or a hiding place? They look identical from the outside. Same quiet apartment. Same unread messages. The difference isn't how much you're alone. It's what happens when someone knocks. Picture it. Someone's safe. One of the few says, "Come, it's just us an hour." If it's a home, you can say no because you actually don't want to go. And you could say yes. If it's a hiding place, you feel something else first. A tightening. A search for the reason. That flinch is the whole diagnosis. Not the answer you give. The thing that happens before the answer. Because a preference feels open. Protection feels closed. And you can be genuinely happy alone and still be closed. Those aren't opposites. That's the part that took me a long time to see. I choose the quiet too. I'm good at it. It's honest and it's mine. But I know the difference between the night I stay in because I want my own company and the night I stay in because being seen sounds like work. One of those refills me. The other one just doesn't cost anything. And I keep mistaking the second for peace. So you don't need to fix this by forcing a crowded life you don't want. The work is smaller and harder than that. It's noticing the flinch. It's letting one person stay slightly expensive. One, not a social life. A single person your nervous system is allowed to spend on. Because the goal was never to need less. Your body was just trying to protect you from a cost that once broke you. It did its job. It's still doing it, long after the danger passed. You get to be the one who tells it the danger passed. Keep the quiet. It's yours, and it's good. Just make sure the door is closed because you closed it, and not because you forgot it locked from the inside. Thanks for staying to the end of this one. If you want more of the uncomfortable half of psychology, subscribe. What your mind is really doing in the dark.